Have you ever had anybody in New York Times' office come up to you and say, I actually enjoy Trump?
No. There's
Really?
No one there, not one person.
Not one person?
Not one. Every one of them hates him. They hate him like a plague, dude.
So would you agree with me that the Times kind of unfairly reports?
They unfairly, yes. I agree 100%. That they unfairly report on him. I'm like, beautiful day today. And they're like, as good as it could be, Trump.
These are the most dishonest people. They've got a couple of reporters in that newspaper who are so bad.
The people I work with, they hate Trump. They hate him like a plague, dude. They unfairly report on him. One guy I know, he quit his job, moved to Canada.
Who here would like us to release undercover videos inside their holy grail, the New York Times? Fake News, New York Times edition. We continue our undercover investigation with part 4 into the New York Times. The first video showed Nicholas Dudek, a so-called junior editor, talking about the paper's activist editorial agenda. Part 2 showed Desiree Hsu talking about the paper influencing electoral results. The deputy managing editor responded first by saying they're reviewing the situation. The executive editor says he was going to be taking action. Now, we continue with someone who hasn't worked at the New York Times for 6 months or 6 years, but someone who's worked there for 20 years as an IT contractor. And he, more than anyone, is exposed to the internal workings and the shenanigans at the New York Times. And you will be amazed at the things he says.
So the people I work with are pissed. They're like, this is bullshit. They hate Trump. Everybody hates Trump. They're like, Trump.
So everybody in the office is saying Trump.
Yeah, they all hate him.
Have you met anybody in the office who's like?
No. Every person I work with, they're like, I can't believe it.
Why is that though?
One guy I know, he quit his job, moved to Canada.
Hatred, profanity, moving to Canada? According to Gordon, this is business as usual at the New York Times.
Have you ever had anybody in New York Times' office come up to you and say, I actually enjoy Trump?
No. There's
Really?
No one there, not one person.
Not one person?
Not one. Every one of them hates him. They hate him like a plague, dude.
So I think for me, like the funniest thing is that you've worked with the Times for a long period, in that 20 years. You've worked with them for 20 years. And you can't find one person within the New York Times who's even a fan of this guy.
Not one, honestly. I've asked too. I'm like, what do you think? No one.
According to Gordon, the Times does not have one voice of dissent. If he's right, how can the paper ever be trusted?
How can they report without being biased, right?
You're right, 100%. 100%.
Would you agree with me that the Times kind of unfairly reports?
They unfairly, yes. I agree 100%. That they unfairly report on him.
Gordon went on to explain the Times' lack of sourcing and how it affects the paper's coverage of the Russia story.
Right, it's all been hearsay. Maybe he did this, maybe he did that. Yeah. You're right, 100%. They haven't been able to prove it. So,
but 100%, that's how I feel like Times.
You're right.
Has covered this, right?
Yeah, 100%. You're right. It's all hearsay.
And you're in the office all the time, so you get to like see it firsthand.
Yeah, hearsay. It's all hearsay, and they're like, grab that hearsay and let's put it out there.
Hearsay, i.e., anonymous sourcing. In the fight against fake news, this has been a major point of contention. The New York Times has a long history with unnamed, unaccountable sources. In 2015, the Times had to issue 2 front-page retractions due to anonymous sourcing. This prompted a policy change. Readers question whether anonymity allows unnamed people to skew a story in favor of their own agenda.
I'm like, beautiful day today. And they're like, as good as it could be, Trump. Everywhere I go, they're like, as good as it could be, but we're and
do they say that when you walk into New York Times? Times?
Everywhere. They're like, we're
Todd Gordon is a classic Project Veritas whistleblower. He's unable and unwilling to speak about the abuses in public that he sees in private. Over the last couple weeks, you've seen a paragon of American journalism, the New York Times, exposed for what it is, and they have some questions that they still have to answer. We tried catching up with the deputy managing editor yesterday in Brooklyn, New York, and he literally ran away from us. Stay tuned, because our American Pravda investigation is far from finished. The New York Times isn't the only vaunted media institution that came under our investigative magnifying glass. In fact, we have people all throughout the country inside many different media establishments, and we're going to expose them, one by one, brick by brick, employee by employee. Maybe the fact that these people are running scared from us, the fact they won't answer questions, is because they know there's more coming. We have them scared. Stay tuned, America. They'll all be exposed. Usually at the end of these videos, I make a request for financial support. Today, I'm going to ask for something slightly different. As you can see, we're working on some of the most powerful, sensitive investigations we have ever done. We've been able to do this because of people on the inside who are cooperating with us. If you're inside a corrupt mainstream media organization, a fake news organization, a Silicon Valley titan, or maybe you're one of those people inside the deep state, we want you to reach out to us. Now, your security is our biggest concern. We will protect you. I will personally go to jail to protect your identity. But if you're an insider, we want you to send us a tip at veritastips@protonmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.